Great. So I'd like to kick on this brief screencast to give you a sense of where we're at right now and a subject that's very important to me. My background is in helping startups or acting as a software engineer in startups. I've owned two of them, and I'm on my second one right now. And I wanted to talk about bridging the gap between business and systems analysis. My name, Stefan Bund. And I want to try to cover enough ground over 5 minutes that you'll get something out of this. You all are very familiar probably with traditional business analysis. And several very important pieces of that are value stream analysis, where there's a Kanban analysis where we look at forecasting a market. Value stream takes a look at the moving parts and it evaluates the efficiency within any given organization. It talks about where there's loss and waste taking place. Value stream analysis is the pathway to proposing an ideal way of doing business where loss and waste do not take place. SWOT, or SWOT, is the analysis related to strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. It's a cornerstone of modern business education, and it helps firms understand what positive factors are moving forward, what competitive factors are affecting their business. Naturally, it gives them a sense of forming a product in conformity with what they must contend with. A new tool called the Business Model Canvas, or the BMC, helps people to balance what they see as their customers and their marketplace and their own value stream or their own production efficiency with a value proposition which sits between your value stream and your marketplace, and it measures the revenue and cost structures regarding. This is a classic kind of ledger view, and this business model canvas is becoming very important to technology companies who are exerting a lot of influence among modern corps. So let's just finish up. Root cause is going to be best described as a kind of a problem solving technique where we look at the reasons why problems take place. The Ishikawa, or the fishbone analysis, is the best embodiment of that. And then very recently you have the business process model notation, which is what I wanted to talk about. So really the business analysis contains two pieces. One is the problem domain, where we talk about, well, what is ailing the business? And perhaps a root cause could be very good at that. A value stream analysis and a Kanban analysis is very good about talking about where the business is. A SWOT is very good for problem domain. Then there's a corporate strategy where we're talking about where weakness lies within the business, where its competitive position must improve, and what we should do to move a business into a productive state. Now, what I want to talk about here is that corporate strategy is well encoded within what's called a business motivation model. And the business motivation model has gained some acceptance since year 2012. Since 2014, it's become well encoded so that we can teach it. And the business motivation model has much to do with taking your means and synchronizing this with your end. Your ends are your vision. Your means are your mission. And the courses of action you take are strategies, which are embodied in tactics. Tactics are things that the public experiences, and they take the form of technology products. They take the form of marketing campaigns. They take the form of the way that we train employees to offer a service differently. And of course, there are directives in the form of policies and rules, which are applied to organization units, which execute the business processes and thereby use and embody the rules. So we try to balance our means and our ends through this mission vision match. And so the business motivation model is a very good way of assessing and controlling the progress you've made, advancing toward goals in light of situation where you find yourself. So the business motivation model is an excellent corporate strategy tool. Now, when we're transitioning between a corporate strategy or a BMM, and a business process modeling, or a BPMN, let's just say that the BPMN encodes that strategy in formal roles, responsibilities among people. It provides insight into where software can play a role, and it does not specify, however, how the software should work. And that business motivation model synchronizes that vision with a mission using strategy and tactics. Let's agree that the tactics are the technology which the public sees. So the BPMN is an excellent way for a business analyst to tell the technology people what to make. So where the BPMN provides a missing link is where the BPMN helps instruct the systems analyst on how the strategy is imbued in a business process and how software should augment what the organization is doing. And just to give a clear look at what BPMN looks like, the BPMN looks like a different tiered drawing where there are these swim lanes. These are lanes here going laterally. And we have what's called a pool, which is the horizontal organization of these swim lanes. And where these arrows are working is in taking activities that each of the role players within each swim lane is doing and how they interrelate and communicate with the roles that other people are playing. And so it lays out the way that responsibilities and roles belong to individuals and how those roles and responsibilities impact and benefit other people within the organization. The BPMN is an excellent way to specify how the business should operate in the form of processes. So when we're talking about systems analysis, which we teach here at our school, we begin with what's called a use case. And that use case has a very strong relationship to BPMN, where we take a role player or an actor and we talk about what they do. And naturally, this is the system that comprises. And these role players naturally do different things. And in a very similar way to the BPMN, those role players have activities or actions. And so data or information may well be shared between them. These notes can be included within a BPMN that specify where information technology should play a role and where we should insert information technologies. But the BPMN is limited. Now, the use case is the beginning of systems analysis. It must possess a complete business analysis prior to beginning, and it must translate requirements into the use case, which were learned during the business analysis phase. So there is a very strong relationship between the use case, which the software engineers are going to use to build up your product, and the BPMN, which is going to be used largely by the business people and the process modelers, which specify where information technology could play a role. So what I'm suggesting is there are a lot of lessons that are learned and that are revealed to us during the BPMN as it translates from, say, business model canvas, as well between the business motivation model. All of those lessons are encoded within the BPMN, and then we can take those lessons learned and make a fresh start with a systems analysis embodied in the use case, which helps us to envision how the software should work. I hope this has been helpful, and I'm going to include some links to this presentation in the body of the video. Thanks a lot, and aloha.